Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're diving into the top 10 challenges facing the United States in 2025. From economic hurdles to technological shifts, these are the key issues shaping the future of America. Whether it's climate change, healthcare reform, or political polarization, each of these challenges has the potential to impact every American. So let's get started and explore what lies ahead for the U.S. in 2025. At number 1, climate change and natural disasters. Climate change is accelerating, with devastating impacts on agriculture, ecosystems, and urban infrastructure. Rising sea levels threaten coastal cities, while prolonged droughts impact water supplies in the West. The U.S. government is under increasing pressure to transition to renewable energy sources and reduce carbon emissions. At the same time, the cost of rebuilding after disasters like wildfires, hurricanes, and floods has stretched federal and state budgets thin, putting a strain on public finances. Additionally, there's a growing demand for green jobs and investment in sustainable technologies. Number 2, political polarization. Deep political divides are affecting the functionality of American democracy. In 2025, political parties are more entrenched than ever, with media outlets amplifying the divide through biased reporting and echo chambers on social media. Polarization has led to legislative stagnation, making it difficult to pass meaningful reforms on issues like healthcare, gun control, and immigration. The political climate has also fostered an increase in civil unrest, protests, and even violence, as groups on both ends of the spectrum feel unheard or underrepresented. This polarization is eroding public trust in government institutions and democratic norms. Number 3, healthcare reform. The U.S. healthcare system remains one of the most expensive in the world, yet millions of Americans still struggle with access to affordable care. In 2025, the debate over universal healthcare versus market-driven approaches continues. Skyrocketing drug prices and hospital costs are pushing more Americans into medical debt, while healthcare providers face burnout due to understaffing and overwhelming patient loads. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted significant gaps in public health preparedness, which still require addressing. Preventive care, mental health services, and long-term care for the aging population are also under pressure. Number 4, economic inequality. The wealth gap between the top 1% and the middle class continues to widen. While the stock market thrives and corporate profits soar, wages for middle and low-income workers have stagnated. Automation and artificial intelligence are disrupting traditional industries, leading to job displacement for millions of workers in sectors like manufacturing and retail. The rise of the gig economy has created flexible work opportunities, but without benefits like healthcare, retirement, or job security, many Americans are financially vulnerable. Affordable housing is also a significant concern, with rents and property prices in major cities pushing people out of urban centers. Number 5, immigration and border control. The U.S. continues to struggle with balancing immigration enforcement with humane treatment of migrants. The southern border faces consistent pressure from people seeking asylum due to political instability, violence, and economic hardship in Central America. The debate over building a more efficient and compassionate immigration system remains heated. Calls for comprehensive immigration reform grow louder, focusing on paths to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. Resolving the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) issue, and addressing labor shortages in agriculture and tech industries. However, political gridlock and misinformation continue to complicate policy reform efforts. Number 6, racial and social justice. Despite progress in some areas, racial inequality remains a persistent issue in the U.S. Structural racism continues to affect education, employment, housing, and the criminal justice system. Movements like Black Lives Matter and calls for police reform are at the forefront of national conversations, especially regarding disproportionate incarceration rates of minorities. In 2025, there are growing calls to address these systemic issues through reparative justice, police reform, and policies designed to reduce inequality. At the same time, there are challenges with addressing biases in AI and machine learning technologies, which can perpetuate discrimination in hiring, lending, and law enforcement. Number 7. Technology and privacy concerns. The tech boom of the 2020s has brought convenience, but also privacy concerns. With AI, facial recognition, and biometric data collection becoming more prevalent, Americans are increasingly worried about data breaches and government surveillance. Cyber attacks on businesses and critical infrastructure, like the Colonial Pipeline hack of 2021, are becoming more frequent, raising questions about cybersecurity readiness. Additionally, tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Facebook face scrutiny over monopolistic practices and the collection of massive amounts of personal data. In 2025, there's a growing demand for regulations that protect consumer privacy while encouraging innovation. Number 8. Education reform. The education system in the U.S. is facing a transformation. Rising tuition fees at colleges and universities have saddled students with debt, leading to calls for free or more affordable higher education. Meanwhile, K-12 schools are grappling with unequal funding, outdated curricula, and a lack of resources, particularly in underprivileged areas. There's also a growing emphasis on the need for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, education to prepare students for the jobs of the future, as well as a push for vocational training to meet demand in skilled trades. Education reform is critical to closing the gap between the wealthy and the underprivileged. Number 9. Opioid and substance abuse crisis. The opioid crisis continues to devastate communities across the country. In 2025, addiction treatment centers are overwhelmed as the demand for mental health and substance abuse services increases. The government is working to regulate pharmaceutical companies, many of which played a role in the opioid epidemic by pushing addictive painkillers. Beyond opioids, there is concern about the mental health crisis and its connection to substance abuse, especially among veterans and marginalized communities. At last, number 10 is global competitiveness. The U.S. is facing fierce competition from China, India, and the EU in areas like technology, manufacturing, and innovation. In 2025, the U.S. must address its aging infrastructure and invest in advanced technologies to remain competitive on the global stage. The decline in American manufacturing, coupled with trade tensions and supply chain disruptions, has exposed vulnerabilities in critical industries. As global powers increase their investments in clean energy, space exploration, and artificial intelligence, the U.S. must strategically allocate resources and focus on education, research, and workforce development to maintain its leadership in global markets. Each of these challenges represents both risks and opportunities for the U.S. as it moves toward 2025. Addressing these issues will require collaboration across political, economic, and social spheres, with a focus on innovation, inclusivity, and sustainability. Thanks for watching! If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates and in-depth videos on everything happening in the USA. Drop a comment below and let us know which challenge you think is the most pressing in 2025. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you in the next one.